Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is the Fan Warm-Up Show.
Presented by the Ohio State Army ROTC. Decide to lead today.
Happy college basketball Saturday evening, everybody. Also, a happy Valentine's Day. How are we celebrating that this evening? The Buckeyes have a date with the Virginia Cavaliers down in Nashville. Paul, Ron, and Skip, they're already down there. Maybe probably taking a Broadway last night, maybe this evening after the game. But they'll get to you here in about 15 minutes' time. Listen, it's been a crazy week for Ohio State men's basketball, right? We don't have to really bring up the Michigan game. We're almost a week removed from that. You watched what they did in the midweek against Northwestern, down, and then kind of blew them out in the second half. And then today, I was watching Michigan take on UCLA at home, and every time I flip back to the game, Michigan increased their lead by about 5 points. So, tough weekend, right? But it was a huge bounce back in the midweek when you took on USC. This was a team that you were being directly compared with. You are being directly compared with when it comes to NCAA tournament resume, and Ohio State came away 89-82 victors in that game. Now, a big reason for that victory was what Bruce Thornton did towards the end of the stretch. Thought Devin Royal was terrific offensively. Puff Johnson hit some big shots. And then we've also started to see, again, Tayson Chapman kind of come into his own in the last few games. Now, the reason that we mentioned, at least I did, Puff Johnson and Tayson Chapman so early here in this show, this was a little bit of a surprise if you were watching that game, obviously, on Wednesday against USC. You did see John Mobley Jr. leave the game. Again, I'm not a doctor. It looked like a dislocated pinky or something. I don't know if they popped it back in, but like he went to the bench, he got cleared, he came back into the game. Unfortunately, Ohio State basketball released a statement earlier today. This was about a couple hours ago. Ohio State sophomore guard John Mobley Jr. sustained a hand injury in the game against USC on February 11th and will be out indefinitely. He is expected to return this season. He started all 24 games this year and is second on the team in points and scoring at 15.1 points per game. Now that is not an ideal situation. John Mobley Jr., we know that when he starts to fill it up, he is microwave hot, right? Like when he gets warm, he stays warm, and he can obviously spray it around the court. So you're going to be down. You're facing some adversity. You're already taking on a top 15 team. You're going on a neutral site to do it. It is the Virginia Cavaliers. And by the way, if you haven't watched Virginia since Tony Bennett and like their throttling defense, they're kind of the same way. Now, it's not exactly what they were when they won the national championship, but they are stifling. Virginia's tail of the tape this year, 21-3. They're currently second in the ACC, and the last game that they lost was a 5-point game to North Carolina a month ago. All right, what have they done since then? They've just won 5 in a row. 85-80 was their last loss against Carolina. They lost on the road, kind of a weird loss for them, at Virginia Tech, and then actually lost at home against Butler. That's it. That's the 3 losses for Virginia this season. So you're going to get their best shot coming up here tonight. It should be a very fun one, but again, you're going to be shorthanded. John Mobley Jr. Is not going to be available. I'm sure we will hear from Coach Jake Diebler at the very end of the show when he talks to Paul and Ron, kind of giving a status update, what the timeline would be. The sooner that you can get him back, obviously, it's going to be the better. But let's go back to the last game against USC because we're now talking about Tayson Chapman, Puff Johnson, Gabe Cupps. Those guys are going to have to fill in a big-time role with John Mobley Jr. being out. Again, Puff Johnson, 2 for 2 from downtown. Had a nice game offensively against USC. A couple of crazy shots, too, from behind the line. And here was Jake Diebler after the game on Wednesday talking about Puff Johnson. And hopefully we're having those same conversations tonight as we did earlier in the week about him.
Yeah, perfectly from 3 especially. I think it's been hard for him. Obviously, he was out. He gets in, starts to get a rhythm, gets injured, right? Out. Almost had to like kind of restart, refresh. You know, we believe in his skill set, and he's worked really hard. And I think, you know, the rhythm 3 took. The first one he hit was a great shot. Obviously, the second one he hit was, you know, just imagine he practices that on his own time. But that was a big shot. I think the thing that he's done that's been most impressive to me is he's not out there trying to do too much. You know, offensively, he's playing within what we're doing, but then defensively, his basketball IQ and the way he communicates on the court, it's great. And we actually got a couple other guys. I'd like for that to become contagious for them. We're working on that with a couple guys, but he's a high-level communicator. Versatility, you guys can obviously see his versatility defensively with his ability to guard bigger guys, switch on smaller guys and things. But I've just been really impressed with how quickly he's picked things up and how much he communicates on the court.
That was something that you were expecting out of Puff Johnson this year. And what Jake Diebler is talking about, I mean, that's a guy who's in his 6th year of college basketball. So, yes, he's a great communicator. He's able to fit in very quickly, and he understands his assignment. Now, it was unfortunate when he got cleared from the NCAA. He came back and then got hurt in practice. So it's kind of been up and down, up and down, up and down. And hopefully, again, it's going to be up for him because Puff Johnson, Tayson Chapman are going to get some big minutes tonight down in Nashville. Speaking of Nashville, let's head over to the Bridgestone Arena and check in with our great friend Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
Ron, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy college basketball Saturday evening to you. Weird non-conference matchup with Virginia. Bad news for Ohio State, right? A couple of hours ago, John Mobley Jr. ruled out indefinitely for this game. Virginia, very tough defense. I feel like it's going to have to be Puff Johnson, Tayson Chapman, maybe Gabe Cupps having to stand in for John Mobley Jr. tonight, Ron.
Yeah, it's a big-time loss for a number of reasons, clearly because of his scoring. But with that scoring, it creates spacing for everyone else, and so you lose that. That's one less guy that the opposing team has got to worry about from a defensive standpoint. And then, he's another ball handler for Ohio State that they're not going to have potentially down the stretch to make plays, create something to put the Buckeyes over. I'm expecting a close game because this Virginia team, as you mentioned, is a very sound team, respected around the country, especially because of their defense. But it's just one of those things where next man up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting tonight. I'm looking at the boards as well, Ron, because I know that last week Jake Diebler talked about it against Michigan. We had Dave Dickerson on the postgame show. He talked about it, how they got him on the boards and really they couldn't get back from there. Virginia actually rebounds the ball better offensively than what Michigan does. So I'm watching that. That's kind of the battle inside of the war. If Ohio State can contain them with second chance points, if they can contain them on the offensive side of them rebounding, I think Ohio State has a puncher's chance this evening.
Well, yeah, you're right. When you look at Virginia, 9th in the country in offensive rebounds and also overall rebounds, clearly that's one of their strengths. They got the size, so I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Diebler goes a little big at times, a little bit more extensively in this game because of that very reason. When you look at there's the girth and length that they have in their front line, I mean, you would think that that's going to be a big-time concern for Ohio State. But clearly, Tayson Chapman will have an opportunity to come out there and play much more responsibility. It's the game prep leading into tonight, I should say. Obviously, right now before the game, it's a whole different type of a mindset for him. He's never been in this position as a Buckeye that he's being expected to come in and play the role as a starter.
So we talked to Adam Jardy on our local show last night, Ron, and I think Virginia is second in the country for length of shot away from the basketball. I didn't even know that they tracked some of these things, but they're very good.
Everything.
Yeah, they're very good at making teams shoot a far away when it comes to 2-point field goals. How does Ohio State kind of take advantage of that if they're able to get the ball inside tonight?
Well, Coach Diebler has been preaching this ball movement, and they do have that versatility. When you look at Christoph Tilley, you look in the last, 10, 15 years, he ranks top 5 in assists in a season by big. And so that gives you an opportunity to create shots from basically every position, including your 5-man. So I think ball movement is going to be a premium tonight against Virginia. Anytime you play a team that's connected like Virginia is defensively, you have to have great movements. You have to have the discipline to come off screens, and that's going to be very important tonight going against them.
Were you able to corral Paul and Skip last night on Broadway? I mean, did they get in trouble? Were they all right, Ron?
No, we're good. We go to a restaurant nearby, come home, get into bed early, and get ready for the game.
Ron, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a great call this evening, and hopefully we don't have any more shot clock delays at the end of the game, all right?
Go Bucks.
There he goes. Ron Stokes with us here every single warm-up show. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens tonight. Tayson Chapman, obviously a big role. Puff Johnson, a big role. Gabe Cupps, probably a big role as well. But I just keep going back to, when you need him the most, he's going to give you his very best. Might be something special tonight from Bruce Thornton. Like if he knows that John Mobley Jr. is out and that guy has to put on the cape again. He did it against USC on Wednesday by scoring the final 9 points in the game for Ohio State. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to do that again this evening. Should be a fun one. Everybody have a great evening. Happy Valentine's Day to you. We're going to be back for postgame. Paul, Skip, and Ron, they're up next from Nashville. Buckeyes, Cavaliers, coming up next right here on The Fan.
You've been listening to the Fan Warmup Show.
Presented by the Ohio State Army, ROTC. Decide to lead today.
Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for